Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You have joined us for a quick tween sessions segue, where we're going to explore what Amelia is off doing in these in this time. Now, it follows on directly from the session 22 video.
Yeah.
So, Amelia's woke up worse for wear after that rough night.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a pretty big shock, hasn't she? She's lost a fair bit of money.
And quite a big silver, I would say. Yeah.
She's departed wearing her plate armour.
Yep.
But you said she's not bringing the shield or her weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Just wearing her armour. And she's off to Baranti Manor.
Yep.
So, as Amelia makes her way through the streets, she picks up this feeling like she's being watched.
Yep. I'm not surprised.
And then you feel a presence. However, it's a presence you recognise, and a voice you recognise that comes out from behind you. Ha! So, worse for wear like me, eh, lassie? Is that right?
Okay.
It's Felan. Has joined you on the street. Now, be mindful that the player of Felan is not here, but has I happen to know, as the GM, that he's out and about at this point too.
Mm.
So we've got a bit of intermeetupableness. Interaction. Now, you look as if your head is about as sore as mine feels.
That would be one way to put it.
Rough night, yeah?
Very. And the problem is, I started it.
So what are you doing now, geared up like that?
I'm going to have a few choice words with someone.
Who's that?
Considering your position, I'm wondering if you're already involved.
Well, who is it? Then I'll tell you.
I'm going to be speaking to Miss Baranti herself in a minute, if I get a chance.
Hey, whoa. I don't want any trouble.
Well, we're already in trouble.
Well, we're all going to be in trouble then. If you're going to see her, I've got a mind to tag along. I'll join you.
Fine. Might be your own funeral, though.
I've always been warned that I'm going to miss my own funeral. This is a chance not to.
Yeah, so better you than those two bumbling idiots. They've got us into more trouble than it's worth.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It was meant to be, at least somewhat of one.
Mind you, considering what they're like, it doesn't really serve me too well as one. That's easy to be better than them. You could get a half-dying dog along.
We did have one along for quite a while, actually.
I heard about that. It's called Pedar, wasn't it?
No, I actually meant a dog.
And now, it's your cat.
Oh dear, what the funny thing about that is, it's the new character insulting the old character that the same player played.
Right. As you're heading through the streets, you hear a town crier. Hear ye! Gong, 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 gong. The great contest of never comes soon. The tournament of all tournaments, to end them all. Test your might. Begin your training now. Prepare to set sail for the free marches.
How many times have I...
Contest coming soon. Gong, gong.
How many times have I heard it being the tournament to end all tournaments?
Do you think you'd be entering that one, lass?
Maybe.
Oh, a lady like yourself. You know how to look after yourself. I reckon you could win something like that.
I wouldn't bet money on it.
Yeah, well, I've had my nose to the ground sniffing about. And I bet you that my kind are going to be all over that one, even though they normally aren't.
No? Why would they be there?
Well, word is that Orzammar, as a one-off, are sending an official delegation.
That sounds
I
odd.
don't even know why.
That sounds odd.
Doesn't it, Jess? It's coming up in a few while. Some months. You know how they do it.
Well, we'll see how things go, won't we?
I'm thinking I'd enter.
You'd enter.
I like a tourney. Win it as well. I tend to win tourneys. Gambling ones at least. Mind you, it helps that I cheat.
Why am I not surprised?
I've given you forewarning never to play against me.
Yes.
At least I'm an honest crook. I'll steal from you,
you're
but
fine.
I'll warn you I'll do it first.
You'll find rare of them, won't you?
At least now that I know you. You notice that he's got his leather armour on and fully geared out.
Mm-hmm.
Felan in tow, you make your way into the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
The guards smile and let you in. Did you hear about that wee girl that turned up in the river?
Yeah.
That's pretty fast turnaround, isn't it?
A little too fast.
Whoever it was, they work fast. When the information gets out.
Yes, well keep your voice down considering where we are.
It's not a habit that I've worked on succeeding at very well. I just get louder the quieter I try to be. Damn it! I'll work on it. Wait.
Okay, here's an idea. Try and be louder, maybe that'll make you quieter.
I know what to do. Put my mindset up that I've just tried one of the best Orzammar slammers ever. That's when I go quiet.
Well, that helps.
Right, we're good. Mind you, I'm feeling a little drunk, but let's go.
Yes, well, I'm still feeling it from last night myself.
So this is a stealth mission, yeah? Right, yeah. Comes up the door. Lassie Nancy!
Ow! In character.
The door is answered by a servant. Amelia Suranus. Oh, and the dwarf. Oh, yes, and the human. Let me in, big nose. Please do. He pushes on past the butler. Sorry, I'll announce myself.
Yes, you probably will. Down.
So, he goes on into the place. And, now, where would the old girl be? Let's see. We're losing Lady Baranti's house. That's a turn up for the books, isn't it? Looks like we're that trusted now. You should be honoured. Well, you know, present circumstances accepted.
Makes me worry more. I'm starting to regret not bringing my sword.
Well, you can always turn around and leave.
No, I'm here to talk, and I'm going to see this through. Whatever the outcome.
The door creaks open. And sitting on a chair, you don't even know how it opened, is Lady Baranti, smoking a very long cigarette.
It's one of those fashionable ones, huh?
Uh-huh. Oh, Amelia and Felan, please do come in, join me, take a seat. She's in her comfy chair by the fire.
I do so.
Though the spring has come about, Denham still has a chill in the air, don't you think?
I've noticed this.
Would you care for a drink? I will.
A bit of the hair of the dog would probably won't hurt.
Phelan, please do the honours. Aye, don't have to ask me twice. So he gets up and starts pouring some drinks. Amelia, what brings you without your fellow adventuring folk, even though I thank you for that, being that I will be able to concentrate on what you are saying.
What I have to say, you might not like to hear.
Oh, lots of people say things I don't like to hear, but that's called politics.
Yes, and that's what I'm here to talk about.
You, politics? You don't seem the sort, Amelia.
I'm not, but something Marissa brought up last night.
Oh, dear poor girl Marissa.
Yes.
Did you hear what happened to her?
Oh, I am very aware of why it happened as well.
Oh, really?
She started speaking information when she shouldn't have, didn't she?
Information?
About how you're running things.
Well, a man has to be in control of things. A man has a lot of responsibilities.
Completely out loud, so how private is this room?
It's quite private enough. All those that would be in the vicinity are trusted employees.
And if I was to say I was investigating last night the possibility of someone blackmailing another?
Well, then, the question would then be, Amelia, perhaps a multifold one. Because when I mention those trusted employees, how much do you consider yourself to be one? To do the greater good, to serve the city.
While I believe you have the city's best interests at heart,
Of course, child.
there are just certain ways that people can go about it that can make others think that they are not so much on the side of what can be called good.
Oh, Amelia, I know what you are talking about.
I'm glad I don't have to say it out loud.
It is a messy situation, isn't it? But that is the nature of politics. A woman trying to play a men's game. You have to be 3 times as hard as them. And of course,
That goes the same for trying to fight them.
then you'd understand, wouldn't you?
I can understand what you're getting at, yes.
And of course, this is a dark age we live in. An age of dragons, they say.
I've seen 2 so far.
Men will do terrible things. And then, when it isn't the men, it is the darkspawn. And we both know that there's probably a blight coming.
Yes, which is why I'm here to talk to you about this.
Kaelin-
Because I am worried what Carrick and Tannadil might do.
Kaelin isn't listening, you know. I have used my means to try and persuade him to put more martial force on the borders. Were the Darkspawn to attack now, Ferelden would surely fall.
Yes, which is why we need help from outside. But I doubt that Logan would accept that from your legions.
Of course not. Unless there was somebody around with pulling power, sway and weight over them. Of course, we've all got our secrets, haven't we, Amelia? Even you.
Yes, we do.
And those amongst your group.
Which is why I know I can't do nothing.
And when you said that you're worried what Tannadil and Carrack will do, what did you mean?
I fear that they might try to bring you down.
Bring me down? But I am their sponsor.
Then they do not care.
I put a house over their head.
And they do not care.
Do you care?
I care.
Tell me, Amelia, what makes you care?
Everything I've done, every last person I've done my best to save, I've done it in your name.
That you have.
And to top it off, I believe I would not have been in these situations if I wasn't working for you. I wouldn't have been there to make a difference in the first place.
Quite right. My spies find where trouble is, and where to nullify it, for the good of the land. But our means must be necessarily harsh.
And there you see my point. Karak and Tanadil do not care. The only things they care about are money and drink.
So what do you propose I do to protect the security of my house and my family?
To be quite frank,
What would be your suggestion?
we all have our secrets, correct?
We do.
They have theirs. And I bet you know them.
I do.
One I know of Karak's, but I kept it quiet from the Templars last time I ran into them, for the sake of trying to keep our little sponsored group together.
Which could prove very costly against you, Amelia.
Exactly.
And then there is the letter of your recommendation still to come.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be a shame if some terrible breakdown between us led to there being ill will from House Baranti towards the name of Soranus? But I don't believe that in you. I believe you're a better person than that, Amelia. A sensible person. A person who knows what great good can be done.
Which is why I came here not armed.
I am similarly unarmed. Though weapons have never been my forte, as I'm sure you know.
Yes, well, we both have our own swords that we wield. Yours involves politics. Mine is a literal sword.
I can cut twice as sharply with a quill.
As they say, the pen is mightier than the sword.
I will protect myself as need be against them, and I thank you for your warning, Amelia. It has been noted.
You might also want to note that my assistance in whatever manner, I'm willing to give it.
Oh?
I think I threw you off there, haven't I?
And Phelan stops and looks. You are.
You weren't expecting that one, were you?
I didn't imagine you would quite say that, Amelia. Just how much do you know? Apparently you went into the secret passage.
She explained everything.
So you saw the Whispering Circle room.
Yes.
The necessary means
Yes.
to continue making them defend the rest.
Exactly.
The sacrifice of the few for the needs of the many.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And the one. You're not doing this for yourself, you're doing it for the entire country.
But of course.
And while I might not approve of the fact that there was a demon involved, considering the type of training I want to undertake, I can understand that is a necessary evil.
So you continue to wish to work for my household.
Correct. My mother once said to me, there is no such thing as good and evil in this world, only varying degrees of evil.
An interesting proposition. Then with that, I will let you ask any other questions you might have. Any other curiosities that tickle you? That I can allay as fears, so that they no longer linger any doubt and you can carry on with your employment as a lawful guardian of my household's intent.
No, I have no other questions, really.
Good. Then we have a grand ball coming up in 2 days.
Yes, that was another thing Marissa was going on about.
I would advise that you exercise caution at it. For your own sake, I will not give you the details of it. The less you know, the better. And of course, your trust in this matter cannot just be taken for granted. And it hurts you not for me not to share the fullness of that. After all, it is not a mission that I have chosen for you to undertake.
No, of course.
Therefore, you need not know it.
Need to know basis.
It is the same for Felan. He works for me. Felan grins at you. Well, isn't that a turn-up for the books, Amelia? You know, it's a good job that you didn't come here and threaten to expose it all.
And what good would that do me?
None. I might have had to try and kill you myself.
Yes, and you've seen that I have been up against a full-on Darkspawn mage. I've wondered how well you would fare.
I've been there a bit as well.
Well, that's what they say, last one standing wins.
Maybe we'll be able to finish it at the tournament, eh?
That might be interesting, actually.
See you in the final, Amelia.
Hopefully.
Then, is that all?
Yes, that is all.
Then I will write letters of information to the others immediately, notifying them of my stance, but not sending them. Having them ready at a moment's notice, I will have people watching them. As soon as they begin to act suspiciously towards the household, they will deliver my letters. And in the meantime, Amelia, if you can think of anything that would help further protect the household of Baranti against their efforts to bring us low, then do feel free to tell us any vulnerabilities that you believe may be exploited in convincing them to stay their tongues. Not to harm them, of course, but just to stay their tongues and continue working for me if they so desire. And of course, information like that would get you put very higher up into the honours list. Informants and spies are given the most pay.
If I find anything out that would help, I'll let you know.
Karak is an easy one, being an apostate. But finding something on Tanadul is another matter, perhaps.
It is strange, although considering how he acts. He acts less like any Avar I've ever met. Or out the ones I've met in Redhold. But that might be a tribal custom from what his clan is like.
He has a particularly offensive manner. A disregard for intellect.
And yet he seems to know heraldry like the back of his hand. An acquired knowledge, I'd say.
Acquired in taverns, so I hear.
I wonder if the truth of the matter is he knows it because he's been thrown into so many jails. For doing something stupid and getting himself in trouble.
So, perhaps he's quite a wanted criminal.
Maybe.
One could surmise.
Maybe, but no proof of that.
Oh, I'm sure there is proof. Somewhere.
Maybe. None that I know of, at least, anyway.
Ah, but as long as someone knows it, then I might well learn of it.
Well, it's possible lead to follow, at least, if there's anything to find.
I will warn you, Amelia. Things at this ball will get awfully messy.
Yes, well, I was informed the possibility of blood being spilt.
If you are present, then I would suggest you keep your head down and avoid having the finger pointed. Of course, if it were to happen, I would rescue your name immediately. But yes, it is an unfortunate side effect that someone sometimes has to die. But we try to make sure that that someone is better out of the way than in the way. As for Marissa,
She mentioned the possibility of you having a secret room under your office.
yes. What of it?
That there might be information that they could use to bring you low and your entire house.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, there is a rumour about that goes around. Why didn't you look for yourself?
Because I don't want to upset the balance.
What balance?
The balance of the city. The country. If you've got so many people on a list to keep this entire country running in check, what would happen if you were to be taken out?
Oh, you're thinking very clearly, Amelia. More than I would give credit to a warrior in the field.
Yes, well, the warrior in the field gets given orders by those back running the show.
And a difficult job it is too. They could be deposed at any
And
moment.
if we have a possibility of a blight coming, we don't want the entire country fighting itself.
Then I will leave you with one last thought, Amelia. The hit on Marissa was not my order.
It wasn't.
It was not. That is all. I will see you, perhaps, at the ball. You are most welcome to attend. I will have a gown made, should you so wish to come.
I might just show up. If anything, just to keep an eye on the idiots. And make sure they don't do nothing stupid. Although, that is... calling them idiots and saying them not to do anything stupid kind of contradicts itself.
Perhaps wear a low, bearing to the ground dress to cover those bruises.
Yes.
Then I will bid you good day.
Yes, a very good day to you too, Lady Baranti.
Phelan walks the whole lot of drink back and begins walking out with you. I've always wondered what's in that secret room. I wouldn't mind looking.
Yes, but how much do you want to keep your head?
We could go down.
I'd rather not.
Fair enough. Well, it's nice to see that we're allies.
Yes. For how long, I don't know how it will stretch.